What are we doing?
Podcasts. When are we doing it?
Okay, so guys, here we are recording this week's podcast. I'm speaking really fast, I don't know why, so we're going to start again.
Brilliant, do that. Who's that?
That
Make a
cool.
really loud noise, I can't hear it.
Oh, I heard a really good thing earlier.
Okay,
What's that?
I can't remember it.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Friday podcast. I'm here with Rich and Mark. And what are we discussing this week, guys?
Number of things. A little bit more info on our blueprint meetings. A little bit about Hugh Hefner as
Hugh
well.
Hefner, he passed away a few days ago.
Yes.
A little about the Hef.
Yeah.
Hoff.
And his house.
And his house. Hef's house.
Hef's house.
That's
Yep.
what, is that what it's called?
It should have been. No, I think
Should
it was
have
a
been.
Playboy mansion.
Yeah, it should have been. Hef's house is much
Hef's
better.
house is actually
That's really good, I like it.
Yeah.
What a mansion.
What else?
Busy week, guys?
Really busy week.
Yeah.
We get more and more content in, so it's what we wanted. But yeah, really busy. Loads of stuff going through. We've got our first blueprint package.
Yeah.
Going, so that's really exciting news.
This week, Hugh Hefner. So obviously a lot of talk about him in the news. What's your views on Hugh Hefner?
Well, I watched his bio only about 3-4 weeks ago, and he was very much. He did a lot more for people than people think. He was definitely along the line. I think it's because of the genre that he worked in. He wasn't taken seriously as a businessman that actually was an incredible businessman. How about
He
you,
done. I mean, you think where he came from, where he ended up.
Yeah.
He done really well. I mean, yeah, like you say, I think due to the seediness of the trade he was in,
Yeah.
I suppose it's frowned upon, and there's quite a bit of negativity behind what he done. But actually, when you look at it as a business, where he started, where he ended up,
Yeah.
I mean, what an amazing guy.
An amazing guy in the way, and I think he actually helped a lot of people that would have gone down a different path had he not had the magazine to earn a living.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a lot of the models there would have done other things. If they hadn't had his magazine to go to and earn a living, so it actually helped a lot of young people, a lot of young women actually. And he was his ethics were very, very strong, which is surprising in a way.
Yeah, do you know what I find incredible is, like, again, I've just been like reading more and more about him in the in the news. There's there's good publicity, there's bad publicity, but where he came from, like that whole mindset, he's the perfect example how you can redesign your life. So he he grew up in poverty, repression. I think it was a Methodist family that he grew up in, and so like through school, he he was different, and he was one of the founders of their high school newspaper. So like I said, that whole mindset, his whole approach to I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be a creator in this world, is incredible. What he did for he considered himself somebody who was an advocate for women's rights, and again with the Playboy TV as well, he gave a lot of like black performers their first white audience. So like you said, he was a man of very strong ethics, and he's created a legacy. So he's created something that will live on past him. So he was truly a creator in this world. So rest in peace, Hugh Hefner. Whatever you think about him, regardless of what your perception is of him, you can't deny that he has what he's created has given so much to people all over the world.
I know, good saying.
That's good. Yeah.
Do you like that? I heard that earlier. I thought we'll record that.
What did you do?
Well,
Just record it
discuss
to
what that
yourself.
means.
Just record it. Yeah, well, yeah.
Discuss
Yeah,
what that
don't
means.
expect anything original from an echo.
We'll discuss that.
Ooh.
Deep.
Wait to drop.
Right. Lunchbox drop.
Yeah.
I think we talk about perceptions. I mean, what is your take, Mark, on sort of perceptions of how you're perceived? How important is that, and how has that changed since the sort of digital age and how the internet, social media's come about?
Perception's a funny thing, isn't it? Because it's one of those things that it depends. For me, I know everyone has different views on this. It depends who it is we're talking about.
Yeah.
How certain people perceive you compared to somebody else. There was a time where sitting in front of a camera or doing a podcast or a live on Facebook, all that sort of stuff, I would never have done it. I know Josh is exactly the same. Like a couple of years back, you wouldn't be sitting there doing this, would you?
Yeah.
But now it's if you don't want to listen, turn it off. If you don't
Yeah.
want to watch it, just get off YouTube.
Yeah.
It's we're who we are. We're doing our own thing. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people enjoy listening to what we do and following our journey and what we're doing. But you do get to a point where it's not a case of not caring. I don't want anyone to think we don't care what people think. It's a case of we want people to enjoy it, and if there's things we can do to improve, then drop some ideas, things like that. That's great. But you get to a point where someone's perception of you isn't as important as it used to be. You know things like I say, like sitting in front of a camera. You wouldn't want to. Most people would be really nervous doing it, and a lot of people still are, even in the digital age. They're still really. I know you've tried filming some people, and it's almost impossible because they can't talk.
No, and there's lots of ums, ahs, and thinking out loud. And it's an art to it. There really is an art to it.
So I think you get to a point where perception of me is this is me. I think that's what happens. You stop trying to put up, rather than it being about their perception, it's about your, back to what we were talking about last week, ego.
Yeah.
You just get to a point where this is me, and although I want people to respect, whatever, what I'm doing and who I am, you stop trying to change who you are to fit in with that perception.
There's a point today, I spoke with Kira Miles doing a podcast with this morning, and one of the things we spoke about was creating a character for yourself when you're younger. You tend to play this character.
Of course, yeah.
Josh, sort of how have you sort of maybe changed over the last few years? Did you have a character that you put on and that you've dropped? What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's interesting, like you say, about character. So, at the end of the day, I think everything boils down to perception. So, how do you perceive yourself? How do you perceive other people? What character are you playing, like in this role, in this game of life? Your perception is everything. So your perception creates your character. So my perception, like in the past, was I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm shy, I'm quiet. But how I perceive myself now is different, and I come across differently.
But what about from your point of view? What about? So I was talking from the point of view of other people's perception of me.
Yeah.
When like a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
did you act differently
Yeah.
to fit in with what you thought someone's perception of you should be?
Again, at the end of the day, how do you know what someone's perception is? You can perceive what you think their perception is.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's it's that whole thing. But yeah, once I think you get to a point where you realise that like what you're looking for and what you're trying to create, if you start to look within, then you stop worrying about that outside perception.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you were saying, there was a time where I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, but it wasn't based on my own perception. It's how am I going to be perceived doing this?
Exactly. Yeah.
What my friends going to say, what my family going to say. But when you just start building from the inside out, then you realise, like you said, it's not that you don't care, but you know, at the end of the day, we're all trying to do something in this world, and what we're creating, what we're supporting other people to do, is all about making that change. So, again, we're not the sort of people that say do this and not do it ourselves. So I think having a perception from like you were saying, sorry, it's basically losing that whole right. How do other people perceive me, and how do I perceive myself becomes more important.
Yeah, and to sum it up, it's not caring. It's just caring more about yourself.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
And learning more about yourself and learning what your journey is.
Because again, when you're younger, a past time is when you're looking after yourself, when you're caring about yourself. That's perceived as being selfish. That's perceived as being arrogant or whatever. But your perception changes on that, and look what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, here we are recording Friday's podcast.
Hello.
Say something intelligent.
7.
Okay, yeah, so that's perception covered.
Do you know what as well?
Ooh.
I found a quote from Hugh Hefner, and he said, reinvention is finding the parts about yourself that you don't like and being prepared to change it.
Yeah.
So, again, that ties into the
Ties
whole
in nicely,
perception thing.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It's nice to redesign your life as
yeah,
well.
exactly. And this is why the more and more I was looking into Hugh Hefner, I was thinking, oh my god, like this guy is a genius. How you know how he's just created something out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So this huge mansion now, it's
Amazing
crazy.
stuff.
I think one of the main topics that you spoke about, Josh, is that you didn't have to just run off and start a brand new life. I think it's important. Just explain a little bit more about the importance of that. I know you have some experience yourself.
Yeah. So from being someone that, you know, I moved out of my home. I moved to London because, you know, I felt this calling that, you know, I need to be in London, and it was a huge struggle, and I know that would be more than enough to put a lot of people off. You know, just going through so much, because when you start to open up to possibilities, when you start to see that you're capable of changing, you know, sometimes it can be overwhelming. So this is why, you know, the platform is there. So we've got so much value, so many incredible people involved in this project, and there's so much value that you can get from the site alone.
Pop over to the website success4.co.uk, and you'll
Don't
find
say
more
it.
information.
Don't.
It's Josh's bit. Sorry, you did.
Thank you.
Sorry about
So guys, like, share, subscribe.
that. Get it right.
Or a success. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm so used to you doing that. It's like,
Did it
yeah,
once?
You done it once.
I
You
know.
stole his thunder once. It's gone.
this is it. You took the
Rained on
rug
the
from under my shoulders.
Lay on the floor.
I don't know. You know the saying. When in Rome.
Not that one.
When in Rome. So guys, we're Success4 Global on all social media platforms. Like, share,
Subscribe.